if I can get your views on the need of education, especially in arbitration sector. We have seen that most of our law schools don't really have a focused arbitration module. Some of them may have like a 6 month a semester module, which is not certainly enough for anybody to understand the nuances of this wide and dynamic field, which is ever evolving. And what we learn in law schools is mostly domestic arbitration or its comparison to other forms of dispute resolution. Then for masters, some people choose to go abroad. Very few courses, even in India, where you could do a specialized arbitration course for your masters. Not limiting it to the students, but also professionals, also lawyers with 10 years, 15 years, 20 years of experience, former judges from high courts who do not have that sort of commercial exposure. If we do not consider Delhi, Bombay, and maybe Bangalore, Chennai, the other high courts do not have that sort of commercial exposure. The kind of cases that we see in Delhi and Bombay are not happening so often in the other high courts. So the judges who retire from there and they want to also start doing arbitrations without really, being into that domain as a judge. Do you think that we have enough, at least in our jurisdiction, to train these judges, former judges, to transform themselves into successful arbitrators, and not limiting it to judges, but any other professional who wants to practice as an arbitrator? Do we have enough? Have we taken enough steps in that regard? And if not, what should be done so that people are ready to unlearn, relearn, and are able to adopt to these practices?
See, what I feel is that there is a need of introducing the refresher courses for the different communities involved in this profession. Firstly, I do definitely agree that the law of arbitration, and with particular reference to the concept of international arbitration, not as statutorily explained in our laws, but as it is practiced abroad. So there should be a larger introduction of academic knowledge at the, I would say, not at the beginning of the law course, somewhere in the third or fourth semester of their course, if it is a 6-semester course. So there, because that time you have matured your mind in terms of knowledge of law. So you have the fundamentals clear in your mind. So therefore, that is the first thing. Second thing, I do also agree that yes, you should have refresher courses for the honorable judges, whether they belong to the High Court, whether they belong to Supreme Court, whether they belong to subordinate courts. Because see, as luck would have it, the arbitration is applicable in the question of jurisdiction right from trial court to Supreme Court. Supreme Court also has power to appoint arbitrators. So there should be, what will happen by that is that, this is very prominent, at least the countries I have visited and I have participated in the judicial processes or seminars. People are very, very inclined for refresher courses. They find it that, it is not necessary for you to really think that, okay, I am the world of arbitration. So, you should be very open to learning of fresh things. So I think introduction of refresher courses, and there could be, because it's the judges who has worked in the current times in the High Court, Supreme Court, they will, by virtue of their profession, limitation, they will get experience of arbitration. There is no doubt about it. But still, it can be worthwhile that before, especially the engineers, because see, the choice of arbitrator now is totally party choice, and it has nothing to do. Court can appoint, all right, but primarily if the parties have provided under their agreement choice of arbitrator to be confined in a particular modes, except the concept of sole arbitrator named, which is not permissible now. So you would be definitely doing a good job by making a proper choice. Therefore, the engineers, even the government secretaries who are entering the field of arbitrators, or even the scientists who are entering the field of, they must have some kind of a training on the law of arbitration, because knowledge, as they say, a judge having a knowledge but doesn't have a knowledge about so environmental jurisprudence, therefore there should be experts. So that kind of point. Now, another, I'll tell you a very interesting thing which was internationally debated upon, including in the Paris pre-convention, which I attended. There it was considered whether the jurisprudence, environmental jurisprudence, should be made subject to arbitration. So it was a very positive thinking that people can. So therefore, all this I agree that you have to be not shy of learning. I think you have to be very, very progressive in your thinking on that. Yes, let's do the work rather than feel that you know the work.